Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And I have been listening to Big Finish. I listened to markedly less Big Finish, especially this month. Yeah, this was the only release I got this month. Blimey, that blows my mind. I've been listening to Big Finish, the Third Doctor Adventures Volume 8, starring Tim Treloar, Katy Manning, Sadie Miller, and John Colshaw. I'm happy to report it's a recommend. Okay, it's a wholehearted recommend. This is probably one of the better sets they've released this year. One of the better ones in this range, right? So this is, I'm really happy to say it's a recommend because a lot of stuff's been really ropey of late. It feels like we're back on firm footing. I just hope they continue this trend. Before we get into the review, can you hit the like button? That will be Fantabby Double Dozy. Can you hit the share button? Fantabby Double Dozy. Incredibly, you wouldn't have thought so, but it is. Like, share, subscribe. The Fantabby Doziest. You know, listen, I can't promise untold riches will appear at your feet if you hit the subscribe button, but it might. So, you know, give it a try, baby. Give it a try. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. And let's get into this review. Let's have a look. Firstly, good cover. Very good cover. So, listen, if you haven't listened to any of this range before, Tim Treloar plays the Third Doctor. He sounds pretty much like John Pertwee, but what he sounds a lot more like, what they're able to do with these, is convince me that I'm listening to I'm experiencing a Third Doctor story. So just in the same way as I'm reading a book, as long as they write the character properly, it feels like I'm reading I'm experiencing a Third Doctor story. I'm reading a comic book. If they put the character right, it feels like I'm experiencing a Third Doctor story. This is much harder. It's a full cast audio drama, and it feels like I'm experiencing a Third Doctor story, even though he's not like the spitting image of it. I mean, he's noticeably different to Pertwee if you listen back to back, but still, it's a very valid interpretation of the Third Doctor. Really works. I think closer, in fact, than Dave Bradley was as the First Doctor, but equally in that realm. The weakest replacement in this set is still Sadie Miller. Sadie Miller is Liz Sladen's daughter playing Sarah Jane. She's better in this. She's much better in this than she has been in another one, but here's the thing, Liz Sladen, her delivery was a little bit posh, but you could hear underneath it she had a bit of a Liverpudlian scouse, right? So Sadie Miller does the same thing. She's a little bit posh, but underneath it you can hear she's got a Estuary London accent, right? And it always throws me off, right? It always throws me off, but it's less convincing than Tim Treloar. Most convincing is John Colshaw. John Colshaw playing the Brigadier. If they said, "Oh, we've resurrected Nick Courtney and he's doing this," I'll be like, "Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense, right?" So, good cast, good, well-written, two very good, well-written stories, with no jarring. How will I put this? Bits of 2020-ness in it. Like in one book, I think the last one before, they had a pretty good story, but they introduced a female sergeant character and unit, and it just didn't work, right? It didn't work at all, and it was just to increase the female characters, and it, again, just didn't really work at all. Katy Manning as Joe Grant, still excellent, right? Still fantastic. I can actually have Katy Manning be the narrator to reality, and that would make everything better. Fine, so let's get into these stories. Both of them pretty darn good. First one is called Conspiracy in Space, written by Alan Barnes. Alan Barnes is a bankable talent. I don't think we've heard anything he's written for a while. But he knows what he's doing. So this is a very season. What was it? Joe Grant season. What was that? Season 8? I think. But this is a very much fits in that era. A prequel to. I keep thinking the Space War, but they didn't call it Space War on TV. Planet of the Daleks and oh my god. I'm having a total brain fight. You probably already remembered it. Not the Space War, not Colony in Space. Frontier, is it Frontier in Space? I can't Okay, fine, stop. We're looking this up. Doctor Who episode guide. Man! I could just go and look at my shelf behind me. But no. Actually, wait. No, it's not on that. That's over there. There we go. Oh, God, this is so annoying. It's not Planet of Daleks, okay? It's not Planet of Daleks. That was the one afterwards. Third Doctor. Next season. Mind of Eve. Next season after this. Not Colony in Space. Time Monster. No, was it next season after this? Three Doctors of Carnival Month. Frontier in Space. It was Frontier in Space. Bloody hell. Okay, there you go. Never doubt yourself. So this is sort of a prequel to Frontier in Space. Lots and lots of Draconians. Lots and lots of Draconian lore. I kind of feel that everybody playing Draconian should be Jewish. Why? Because John Pertwee is quite famously said, yeah, I'll sit by the South Bank. And the actor playing the Draconian in full makeup, Jewish actor, by the way, and he's saying otherworldly about him. I was like, yes, let's have them all be No, apparently not. But we get lots more Draconian women in this one. Let's read the synopsis. When the TARDIS is diverted to Draconia, yeah, look, the Doctor, it's the Time Lords operating the TARDIS by remote. The Doctor and Joe fall foul of the hawkish ladies in. War with Earth seems imminent. So yeah, this is I think about 30 years prior to the Frontier in Space. The Draconian military are on high alert, and rumors of super weapon are rife. Execution, assassination, intrigue, and mysterious factions known only as the Eyes are all part of a deadly mission that the Doctor and Joe have no choice but to accept. But as they fight to survive, the piece of the whole galaxy hangs in the balance. So yeah, so Alan Barnes in the interview at the end said, look, when I wrote this, one of the things that I knew it had to have is lots and lots of spaceships. And when he was writing it, he kind of imagined was it Inscoons like spray painting fairy liquid bottles for all that space stuff. I would rather have new special effects, quite frankly. It just kind of takes me out of it. Frontier Space is one of the ones I really wanted the new special effects for, but it very, 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 very much gives over that feeling of that frontier and in spacey feeling. Fits perfectly in the era. It's very good, and it's got a good story, right? It's got a good political intrigue story with traitors and liars and machinations going on in the background. Lots of like Machiavellian knives in the back, that sort of thing with Draconian lore. Really good. It's a really, really good story. I liked it a lot. So the second story on the disc is The Devil's Hoof Prints. This is by Robert Valentine. Robert Valentine's come in for a lot of stick as not being very good. This is a solid story, right? This is a solid story. I think it's probably one of his best he's written. Although, I tell you, the feeling I got of this is a... Okay, imagine if Barry Letts stayed on as executive producer for Philip Hinchcliffe's second year. That's what this would feel like, and this is script edited by Robert Holmes. So if you get that vibe, that's exactly what this feels like. So long ago in Devon, 1855, the mysterious event occurred. Overnight, during a terrible blizzard, thousands of hoofprints appeared in the snow. Apparently, this is a real thing. Never heard of it before. The tracks led on for miles, and no one ever identifies what caused them. Many years later, the Doctor, Sarah, and Brigadier have come to Devon themselves to visit a controversial scientific establishment. So yeah, we get straight into that Pertwee trope, science gone mad. It's very Silurians feeling. Establishment in the wake of a mysterious death and rumors of strange occurrences in the vicinity. But things are about to get much, much stranger, because there's about to uncover the origins of the Devil's Hoof Prints. But is this one mystery that should remain unsolved? No, right? No, this is a really good story. So the first part, although I think Conspiracy in Space is the better of the two stories, this is still a great story. Starts off present day, or the 70s, or the 80s. Actually, they have a bit of an interesting little swipe at that line. I think in episode 3 or 4. Starts off, contemporary unit times. And you have this government facility and a dodgy guy running it. So then, at the end of the first episode, the narrative splits, and the Doctor and Sarah get sent back to 1855, the time of this Devil's Hoof Prince, while the Brigadier basically is left for like 2 or 3 episodes, going one-on-one against the main villain of the piece, who's in both time frames. He's the guy running you knew from the first moment you heard it. Okay, I'm not spoiling it. He's a guy running the facility, and also he's back in time as well. So that's the dual role. But it's a cat and mouse like hunting of the Brigadier that goes through, I think, episodes 2 and 3. And it's like the B plot, and it's freaking brilliant, right? It's freaking brilliant. It's kind of like Deadly Assassin with Tom Baker's Trapped in the Matrix. It's kind of like the villain is like a age-old hunter. But in 1855, we see the mystery start. Derek Griffiths is in this, and he's fan-freaking-tastic. I love Derek Griffiths, okay? I am all in the bag for Derek Griffiths. I grew up watching him in Play School, loved him ever since. I saw him in Panto one year, like, I must be in the late 80s, and he was brilliant. He's always brilliant, right? I love Derek Griffiths, and he's brilliant in this. The one problem I have with Derek Griffiths being in this, he plays the local reverend, the local vicar. So is he playing a white person? And that feels kind of wrong. That feels like kind of icky to me, right? Or is he playing him black? In that case, the whole story is, how did he end up being the reverend or vicar? Like, how did he end up being in that position? But his character he plays is really, really interesting. He's like a competent town leader who's able to deal with like the villagers in a very smart way. He's got a good sense of humor, and he's got a brilliant brain, right? He's a really good character. He ends up a great foil for the Doctor, a great companion to a great extent for the Doctor. I'm just all the way through it going, is he playing white or black? Because again, for me, it just if he's playing white, it just feels wrong. I don't know. I wish they would have used the talent not to do that, right? And if he's playing black, how did he become the vicar? It's 1855, you know, there was a bit of racism back then, right? I mean, I think we could say, or maybe there wasn't. I don't know. Either way, it kind of should have been addressed. But either way, great story. Caroline Seymour is in it. I think she's in both stories, isn't it? Let's have a look. Caroline Seymour, who's pretty darn good in it, where is she? Oh no, she's only playing one role. So there's somebody who sounds like Caroline Seymour in the was it Conspiracy in Space as well. Generally speaking, though, recommend 2 solid, good stories. One of the better ones of the range. This one is definitely a recommend. Get it while it's cheap. It's like $19 now if you're outside the UK on download. I wouldn't bother getting the disc. So this is the end of this range, by the way. In this format, the next Third Doctor Adventures, they haven't released anything about yet, and it's going to be $16.99 and a 3-disc release in February next year. Right? We know absolutely nothing about it. We don't know what they're doing with the range. I guess doing 3-disc release, they could do season 7 stories, right, and have like longer 7-part stories, which I've always kind of wanted them to do. But then they're kind of stuck with was it not Caroline Seymour, was it Dr. Liz Shaw's daughter, what's her name again? Caroline something or other, her daughter plays her, so you kind of stuck with her. Can you just have Katy Manning? She knows what she's doing, right? Okay, here's what you want. You want Katy Manning, you want John Coleshaw, you want Benton, and Mike Yates. You get them all in, all right? That would be fun. And wait. And once you got John Coleshaw in, why haven't you had a Third Doctor Master story yet? John Coleshaw, he's right there, okay? He's there. He can do it anytime you want, right? I don't know what you're dragging your feet for. But anyway, this one's a recommend. I am happy to recommend it. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.